Lots of stores can make lots of claims about themselves, but only I can make the claim that nobody has ever paid full price for a new comic here at Alternate Reality. Since 1994, every new comic that's walked out the door has been discounted 15% off. So if you want to save 15% off your new comics, there's only one place to come, and that's Alternate Reality.
It's Fighty Fighty Fight News!
Oh, sons of bitches.
Fight News, episode 51, Rum Raisin Ranch.
Hey folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for Bo.
MMA Fight News.
MMA Fight News. Ow! And MMA Fight News is coming to you from this place, Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics 15% off every day for everyone. You know, we used to have an MMA fight school about a block down the street here from Alternate Reality.
You had a currency exchange too.
We used to have a currency exchange too.
Graduated.
And you know what they both have in common? They're both gone. They're both gone. During all the time that we've been doing this news and all the time we've been doing fight news, they were down there. Not once did they ever stop by and say, hey, we got a school down here. Wouldn't it be great if we did something together? Not once. But they're gone.
Scrum!
I'm here. Hi, guys.
Scrum!
Anyway, our first story up. You know, Vince McMahon, and just give me a minute. Vince McMahon has been working on a WWE channel, a wrestling channel, for years and years and years and years, and he just can't seem to get it off the ground. But guess who's probably going to beat him to the punch?
UFC
Literally.
President Dana White, because they own the rights to, of course, all the UFC fights. They own the rights to the Pride Library, the WEC Library, the Strikeforce Library, and the Elite XC Library. And since they happen to be a little more attractive to investors than Vince happens to be, they're more likely going to get their TV channel up first. So actually, Vince, when we do the wrestling stuff, the WWE's moving pretty close to this whole TV thing. You may see both of them around the same time.
Vince has been at it a lot longer.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult, especially considering all the money. And this, I'm getting into wrestling here, and we're in fight news. But considering all the money Vince pissed away on the XFL, and he pissed away on his wife's senatorial campaign, and all the money he's pissed away on this, that, and the other thing, nightclubs and stuff. You'd think that he'd have the thing up by now. He must have some extra pocket change to throw away on that, but apparently no. Anyway, next up. Thiago
Silva.
Great,
This is
his license suspended for a year and was fined how much?
$33,750.
And why did all this happen to him?
Well, he failed his drug test before and after UFC 125. The testers found his sample inconsistent with human urine.
And he even studied before it, too.
Now he admitted he used a urine adulterant. I guess you can buy these on the internet. It's a urine adulterant. It's what it's called. It's something you put in a little.
It takes your daughter's 2-year-old pee and makes it adult.
Basically,
pee.
it's someone else's pee.
Oh.
Because he had injections in his back and spine that contained substances that were actually prohibited by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. He knew he was going to get caught, so when they asked him to take his piss test, he took this stuff out of this and dropped it in it. And lo and behold, they caught him. Now, to Silver's credit, he admitted he did it. And he says, I'll take my punishment. And it was pretty stupid for me to do. And most guys would go, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, I admitted I screwed this up.
For all you folks out there.
And actually, this isn't really new. There were a couple NFL players that got busted about 4 or 5 years ago for using something that was called the Whizzinator, which is this tube you put in your shorts and you could basically shoot stuff on it and look like you were taking a whiz.
For all you folks out there, okay, who have to take piss tests, whether you're wrestling or MMA or whatever, if you have to take a piss test, come to Comic Book Man. And here's why. Comic Book Man, and you may not believe this, but I will be happy to give you a sample for you to test. Anytime, day or night. Comic Book Man does not drink. Comic Book Man does not do drugs. Comic Book Man does not smoke. Comic Book Man has never done any of that stuff. I will be happy to sell my urine to you. Anytime.
What do you see him?
I will be happy to sell my urine to you at any time for a monetary
less than $33,750
remuneration of some sort, and I guarantee you it will be 100% perfect.
And you're having a big spring clearance sale right now.
Yes, we're having a big spring clearance sale.
He's been drinking a lot of water lately, boys.
I'll guzzle water like no tomorrow just for you. I'll sell it by the gallon, folks. And believe me, it's all 100% grade A.
Whizzing like a racehorse. That's it.
I'll sell you my poop.
Nick Diaz.
They don't test poop yet.
They don't.
That's coming though. Nick Diaz wants to enter the boxing ring in the worst way.
Yeah, Nick Diaz, he's the champion in Strikeforce, his contract says that if he wants to go out and have a professional boxing fight, he can do it. Now, Dana White says this is a pretty stupid idea. So he says, why don't you fight Georges St. Pierre instead? So I'll be willing to bet. Diaz goes, let's see, I can make almost nothing fighting an unknown boxer because no Major League boxer is going to fight a MMA guy because he'll make him look like an idiot. James Toney, are you listening? Ooh. So, see, there's where I go. So he'll probably fight GSP instead and make a lot more money and get some cash.
Fedor Emelianenko and Dan Henderson are going to move in together and declare their love for one another very shortly now.
Well, they're going to have. They've been talking about this for a while. They're going to have this super fight, which apparently is going to take place at the Sears Center here in Chicago.
It's not just a fight.
It's a super fight. Because they have to agree to be. They got big fists, and it's going to be like, and they're going to wear costumes. But at the end of July, those two men are going to be popping up at the Sears Center for a possible pay-per-view Strikeforce card.
Will Heat Vision be involved?
No, because the roof of the Sears Center may catch on fire.
Will urine be involved?
Well, there'll be urine involved for sure.
Well, if you need a urine sample to test, remember your old pal, Comic Book
There'll
Man.
be urine, believe me.
I just decorate with it.
John Jones, who we've talked about before, the Martian Manhunter. John Jones is going to fight Rashad Evans at UFC 133, and I still think that this is a very unfair fight because John Jones can fight Superman toe-to-toe, and he's done it before, but apparently Rashad thinks he's got a shot fighting him, so God bless you, Rashad.
Well, John Jones was supposed to fight him at UFC 133. He can't because Jones happens to have a torn ligament in his hand.
Well, how the hell did that happen? He's a Martian.
Apparently, Martians have very fragile ligaments. But yes, he will not be fighting him. He's fighting somebody else. Evans is going to fight somebody else instead. And Jones assumes he'll be able to fight someone, not, of course, Rashad Evans, unless he wants to fight twice in a year by the end of the year. But he has a torn ligament. And he went to about 4 doctors, and all of them said, you got a torn ligament. We're not going to let you fight anybody. Just go sit on your ass and let your ligament heal up.
Last story we've got. The last story we've got involves Randy Couture, who... I don't know. Has he retired finally? Is he finally retired?
He's retired for the last time. He retired.
Now, should we actually believe this?
No, he's actually done. He said, "I'm done." He fought Lyoto Machida at the last UFC pay-per-view. He's one of the only 2 men to hold titles in 2 different weight classes. He retired once before around UFC 57 when he lost to Chuck Liddell for the second time. He came back a year later to recapture the heavyweight belt. He says he doesn't need to fight anymore. He's got movies coming out. He's in Expendables. He's got a whole bunch of other stuff he's working on. He also owns a very successful chain of gyms in Las Vegas called Extreme Couture, and he trains fighters. And so he says, I'm in a good place in my life. He announced before the fight with Machida he was going to be done. He got knocked out in the fight, and he says, well, this basically makes it sure I'm done. He'll never have to, of course, look for money, and he'll have a job with the UFC for life. But Couture, who's also known as Captain America, he's no longer going to be fighting. So, Randy.
How's the brain damage?
None. He's fine.
No Dane damage?
None at all.
Oh, okay, good.
None.
So that's it. We're done with Finish Her Out of here. We have got no more urine-drenched MMA news. But
I got some more. Hold on.
You can go to the store's website. Don't buy his urine.
I drank the giant soda.
Not his. You don't want his. You don't want his.
Mine has.
Go to the store's website.
Mine's green.
Check out all the MMA news that this guy sends me that I post up. And where's the store's website at? Bo, where is it?
The Urinator News.
The Urinator.
Alright, Queen of Redundancy here. www.myalternatereality.com.
So go to the store's website and check out all of our MMA news. And until next time, this is Comic Book Man with the cleanest piss on the planet.
This is Bo with the second cleanest piss.
Saying 773-881-HERO. Bye!
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.